Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and tell you what, price-wise, today was a pleasant surprise, wasn't it? A bit of a rally. Is it short-term? Is this going to lead to bigger and better things? Well, I've got all sorts of opinions from a number of different cryptocurrency chart analysts. There's a really notable chart analyst in the realm of crypto. He works at Cointelegraph, or at least in part of what he contributes to them, at least. His name's Philb, and I've highlighted him on the channel before, and he's got tens of thousands of followers. So notable chart analyst in the world of crypto. And he states that Bitcoin back above $7,000 as a higher low can spark an explosive move. So big, potentially big, and I'm going to share with you the specifics. And I've got another analyst that's saying, hey, March through July of this year could be rather bullish here. But before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. This is an XRP-centric channel, so when I make these price videos, of course, we have to talk about Bitcoin too, because, of course, XRP follows the price action of Bitcoin, as does every cryptocurrency, and of course, it won't stay like that forever. But also want to state at the outset, since I am talking a lot about price, I do not have a financial background. I am not offering financial advice. I don't know which way the market's going to go. I just think this makes for it's a fun topic of conversation. I find it interesting, and I know that tons of other people do as well. And so it's fun to put out content like this. Don't buy or sell because of anything that I say or write, and I really, really firmly mean that. So I know people, I have to state that. I state that in every video, but I'm sorry if it's annoying. I have to do it. It's the right thing to do. But let's go ahead and jump in. So the market cap for the asset class is $191 billion. Bitcoin's at $7,326. Dollars, and XRP's at 19.2 cents. And it's fun to look at the 24-hour chart, because you can see here's XRP. It was down to 18.6 cents. And again, 19.2 now. So, and here's the Bitcoin 24-hour chart. It looks almost exactly the same because, of course, not surprisingly, XRP is following Bitcoin. So let's take a look at this now. Bitcoin past data suggests March through July could be bullish. All right, Bitcoin is in an almost constant state of price discovery, but past data is starting to reveal certain patterns. In 2019, the period between March to July saw a significant upward fluctuation. This past record does not guarantee future results, but suggests a bullish move is possible. Bitcoin often moves in a cyclical fashion with ebbs and flows. In 2019, the effect of the futures market added another layer of bets on Bitcoin future development, possibly creating an interplay between bullish and bearish attitudes. Bitcoin also raises hopes for a bullish cycle in mid-2020 based on the general retreat in the last quarter of 2019 and predictions of a bottom reached in January. Prices for Bitcoin ran a relatively volatile cycle in the past day, sinking to just below $7,000, then recovering again to above $7,340. Now, the scenario for Bitcoin is also showing risk of sinking to new lows in the mid-6,000s, but also a possibility for hikes to $8,000 again. Bitcoin price fluctuations happen within a tight range, not excluding a potential capitulation to a lower range. And this is not the only place that I'm reading this today. There's another one I'm going to pull up stating that, maybe we could get as low as the $5,000 range, but perhaps $8,000 as well. So multiple analysts stating kind of similar things. The period between March and July is also fraught with the halving of the block reward for Bitcoin, of course, scheduled to happen around May 15th. This event may significantly sway prices around the event in case the spike was not already discounted in 2019. And so that's why, just me thinking through this, I suspect that there's at least a chance that in terms of price action, 2020 could be a lot more interesting than 2019, if for no other reason. And there's plenty of reasons, but just the fact that the halving is happening with the market leader Bitcoin, that is something that will affect supply and demand. I don't know to what degree, but I really think that some people are aware of this. It's a known metric, and so some people will buy in advance of the halving, but it's only going to be baked into a certain degree. I don't think that in mass there's going to be some sort of behavior that's different than what happened the last two halvings. So we'll see, though. Can't technically know for sure until you've let history play itself out. Now here's another chart analyst. This is Rakesh Upadhyay with Cointelegraph. He's got a price analysis for XRP. So let me scroll down here. XRP has bounced off the support at 18.3 cents, which is a positive sign. This shows that bulls are accumulating on dips to the strong support levels. If the price can now rise above the overhead resistance of 20 cents, a relief rally to 23.2 cents is possible. The aggressive traders can ride this move up as suggested by us in an earlier analysis. Now, contrary to our assumption, if the price fails to scale above 20 cents, the XRP USD pair will remain range-bound for a few more days. The pair will turn negative on a break below the support at 18.3 cents, and the downtrend will resume below 17.4 cents. So, and that's why, like, the reason that I'm interested in chart analysis, not learning it. I don't want to learn how to read charts. I have no interest. I'm much more interested in just tracking fundamentals and news as it occurs on a daily basis. But one of the reasons I find it fascinating is it's not like there's some sort of crystal ball out there. These chart analysts do not have a crystal ball. It's more about they're looking at data and historically what has happened price-wise to determine the probability of potential outcomes. That's all it is. It's a real thing, and it's fascinating. So no crystal ball there. Now, I have a crystal ball, but mine is broken, so isn't going to help us here. Next, this is the one by Phil. Bitcoin back above $7,000 as a higher low can spark an explosive move. And let me share with you a tweet from before I even get to some of the content from the piece that he wrote here. And this is from just a few hours ago. He wrote this. Retest the highs, and it's bull, in my opinion, and here's the chart that he had associated with that. So he thinks if we get to that certain level, oh yeah, it's go time, right? All right, Bitcoin bounced back from an early morning sell-off, reaching highs for the day of 7,375, a swing of 7.5% from the lows of $6,854. Other major cryptocurrencies also made similar moves in price, with Ether regaining $130, having traded as low as $125.50, and XRP reclaiming 19 cents, having previously traded at 18.5 cents. Bitcoin dominance remains above 68% and looks like it's on its way to grab 70% of the market share of the total cryptocurrency market capitalization. Now let me scroll down a little bit further here because I don't want to get into too much of the techie stuff. He's got an analysis with the 4-hour chart, looking at the 1-day chart. I don't really want to get too into the weeds here, but I would like to cover, I think probably just the bottom. I think that's what I was looking at before I recorded here. Yeah, there's this little section here that he subtitled, Looking Forward. It is evident that Bitcoin bulls are in control of the $6,000 level at present, but there is a continued level of supply at $7,500. The outcome of the diagonal resistance is likely to play a pivotal role. Break it, and Bitcoin price is likely to move into the 8,000s. So there you go. There's the level right there. But if the bulls run out of demand in the mid-6,000s, a swift collapse in price to the low 5,000s and the 200-week moving average would most likely follow. So he's talking about probability of outcomes here. And kind of hope it doesn't go down to the 5,000s because you know what that would do to XRP, right? I don't know specifically, but it would not be good price-wise for XRP or any other cryptocurrency. But I have at this point talked myself into buying a whole bunch more. If XRP gets anywhere near that 15-cent level, I don't know if it's going to happen. If it does, I'm telling you, that's while everybody else is freaking out, I am going to get greedy, moon level getting greedy, and I'm going to buy a bunch of XRP on the cheap if that happens. Because I'm here for the long term, and I understand that the price of XRP, it's not representative whatsoever of actual utility. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but one day people are going to figure out, so if I can buy it on the cheap at that price level, absolutely, sign me up. All right, next. Here's another chart analyst from You Today. His name is Denis Surachek. And here's what he had. I'm just going to scroll to the bottom because I don't want to read everything. Here we go. XRP USD. On the 4-hour chart, XRP is trying to hold the ongoing short-term growth. At the moment, the strong resistance is located near the level of 19.5 cents. Concerning the closest price projections, it is unlikely to fix above it as the trading volume remains still low and buyers are not active enough. In this case, one can expect a consolidation phase in the range of 19 cents and 19.3 cents. And this is funny because you know how I always joke about crypto media? They just, type up a draft of whatever you want to publish. Don't read it. Just post that bitch to the Webernets. Don't you don't want to fact check it. You don't want to make sure there aren't typing errors, sentence structure errors, nothing like that. Just go ahead, upload that bitch to the internet. Well, here we go. Here's how he wrapped up this segment. He wrote this. XRP is trading at $132.36 at press time. Can I read that again? XRP is trading at $132.36 at press time. Oh, I wish. Oh, I certainly wish. One day, perhaps. Oh, crypto media, I love you. Let's get married. All right, here's another chart analyst, Patty Stash. Over a 2-year look back here. For 2 years, Ethereum/BTC has failed to clear this trend line. The day it does is the day the market goes bonkers and the bullish sentiment goes crazy. And here's the chart that he has associated with this. So it's, again, Ethereum/Bitcoin right there. And, yep, 2-year downward trend. Good times. We'll see if he's right. And he's been talking a lot about, he's probably out of all the chart analysts I follow, he's the one that's consistently talking about alt season. He's the biggest proponent for it. And to me, I think he makes a lot of sense. Here's another tweet from Patty Stash. Still not expecting much out of Bitcoin for a while. It's remained pretty constant in this channel downwards. And so here's the chart that he had associated with that one. And that was just from a little bit earlier today. Then he put out this video, which I watched. It was a short video, probably just a couple minutes or so, but he was talking conceptually about how, look, inevitably Bitcoin's going to go up. So whatever happens in the short term, of course, like we don't know, maybe it goes down a good bit, maybe it goes up a good bit. Who knows? Just like Philb said, Cointelegraph chart analyst, if things go wrong, you might be looking at a $5,000 support level for Bitcoin, but maybe it'll stay. If it hits 8,000, it's like all bets are off. So maybe one of those, right? But regardless, the point that Patty Stash was making, one of the points anyway, that he was making in this video that he put out on Twitter today, is just the idea that eventually, look, Bitcoin's not going to die. People haven't figured this out. It's not going away. And so ultimately, once it rallies, he was talking about how new money will come in at some point. Attention, the amount of attention it's going to grab when it really takes off, it's going to be substantial. And then that's when ultimately money will flow into altcoins. And historically, that is what happened. If you look at the cyclical nature of altcoin dominance versus Bitcoin dominance, that's how it's always played out. If it doesn't play out that way this time, it would be the first time in the history of cryptocurrencies. So I think Patty Stash is making a reasonable point. We'll see what happens, though. All right, here's another chart analyst, Wooston. He wrote, here we go. Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cover that one. I meant to delete that. Sorry about that. My mistake. Next, because that was about a different one. I had this on my screen. That's not what I meant to cover. It's for a different cryptocurrency. Here's a tweet from Awake. He wrote, "Looks good to me, bro. Good job." And what is he talking about? Well, it was a retweet of an analysis from Uncle XRP. And he wrote, "Observe closely. Notice how both touched," he's got a couple charts on the screen, but notice how both touched the blue EMA, then shot down to retest the green line before exploding. It's likely that we dip down one last time." And then he writes, "I'm mixing me and Mr. Level Up," that's Awake. I cover him fairly frequently on the channel here. But he's mixing his strategy and Mr. Level Up, who goes by Awake on Twitter, strategy together to try to figure this thing out. So he thinks that there's going to be at least one more dip, and Awake agrees. There's going to be at least one more dip before you have a big Bitcoin rally, which, of course, after that, presumably XRP and other cryptocurrencies will follow. But anyway, we'll see how this all plays out. I got none but time, and I'm a very patient man. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!